It would be so much easier for us to gain a following with this little show we have on the internet is if we just decided to go full e-thot. You know what an
Okay.
e-thot is, right?
I know we put on face paints, but I don't know if I want to dress up overtly sexual and put all my stuff on the internet just for some attention. But you think it's worth it?
It'll get you likes and views, and maybe we should talk about it today. What do we call this thing?
Let's talk a little bit about toxic feminism in Web3.
Into it.
Let's do
Go.
it. Welcome back. If you're new here, we produce content on NFTs, digital art, all things Web3. So please like and subscribe. We'd love it. All right. So today, I hope you're ready because I want to get into toxic feminism. I think feminism is great and necessary, but I'm starting to see a few trends of support of women that I don't love. And so I want to break down a few that I've come across and that I've seen that are specific to Web3.
Oh boy. Also, I'm very happy that I didn't wear a top today that has my tatas.
I know. I mean, I do get the irony in the fact that we have this face paint on and are decently done up, and we're going to talk about feminism, but again, related to Web3, and let's just see how it goes.
I'm game. Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. I have 3 different points on feminism that I wanted to approach. And I think first, to define what I mean when I talk about like toxic feminism in the space it's like when fragility is weaponized through like women faking victimhood to gain power over men. And
I mean, like a damsel in distress.
yes. Oh, thanks. And I feel like this is one that I got real heated about a few weeks ago because of the whole blue Dow brown backpack guy situation from DevCon. So for those of you who may not know, there was a situation at DevCon where apparently a group of like 15 women or so were at a 360 camera. And there was a gentleman there who had a brown backpack on that was harassing them in some capacity. And there are like mixed info in terms of what actually happened, but nothing really concrete or justified. There are rumors that he harassed them and just saying that they should jump. There are rumors that he had harassed them by taking photos of them and just like making them generally uncomfortable. I don't really know what the case is, but the woman who made the claim, her name is Daphne. She accused him of doing the harassment and taking the photos. And she posted a photo of him. And at the time, he was just an anonymous person and saying that he was gross. And she had requested that the Ethereum Foundation look into the situation. And then the DAO that she was a part of also went into their own investigation and to look into the situation. And as of like a few days ago or last week, the Blue DAO themselves made a statement, and it was on October 28th. And they basically just said, hey, thank you for your patience while we were reaching a consensus on what this claim actually was. And what they had done is they'd taken all of this time to basically put together processes for how to handle harassment moving forward, because this just ended up being such a complete shit show. And based on crypto Twitter, trust it or not, and everything that we could read and learn about the event, it just seems like the claim was really unjustified and that it was a way for this woman specifically to build some clout around herself.
Oh, I actually hadn't heard that final part. I didn't realize that it had come out that it was what's the girl? Johnny Depp.
Amber Heard, yes.
Yeah, an Amber Heard situation.
Yeah, because Ethereum, as far as I know, the Ethereum Foundation hasn't addressed it again. The way that the Blue DAO is approaching their communication out just makes it seem like they really don't have a leg to stand on. And the other interesting thing that came out from this whole situation is that people really started to look at the DAO as a whole. And they were trying to track down transactions to figure out, how this DAO is working, what's behind it. Are they actually like a legitimate project or DAO? And I think some interesting things were uncovered, people digging into GitHub and code bases and seeing commits or lack thereof. So it was just very interesting. And that's probably the most recent example I can think of. It went like that fragility being weaponized. because I was at that conference and I never felt uncomfortable. I spent a lot of time walking around by myself. I was never approached by anyone. I don't feel like I was ever followed. Like, it just felt very safe. It was just disappointing to see. And I know that the brown backpack guy, just again, based on what crypto or Twitter is saying, is that this was like his first conference of this kind. So it's such a bummer that this was his first experience and his exposure into this space.
Yeah, it's funny that this is your topic for the day because or for the week, right before we hopped on this, I was on Twitter and I saw a girl post a rant about people sexualizing women in the Web3 space. And her picture was her in a bikini top with clearly fake boobies.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to do that, you do you. But I'm not trying to blame. This is a really hard line to walk. But I was like, okay, interesting. You have something to say about that while you are overtly sexualizing yourself on a social media platform, period. Like you are.
Yes.
We don't walk around to the grocery store in a bikini top, you guys, if you're looking for attention. You put a bikini top on and everybody's going to look at you. So what's the difference? If you're in the grocery store or on Twitter, people are looking you did it so people will look.
Yeah.
So I clicked on her Twitter profile and she is trying to create an influencer talking about crypto, Web3, blockchain stuff. It has a lot of followers, something like 79,000, which
whoa.
I was like, okay, that's interesting. You've got a lot of followers. Who knows if there's bots in there, but
yeah.
Regardless, I was like, okay, I'm not trying to pass judgment. Let me see what kind of content you make. And I clicked on her link tree, and the first link at the top opened to an OnlyFans account where you could see nudes. So
yeah,
I get not wanting to be harassed sexually, but also,
yes,
what did you expect?
Yeah.
If you want to do OnlyFans, cool, you do you, but you're asking for comments.
This is actually this is the third point I wanted to get to, but quickly before I jump into that. So I think the instance with Blue DAO, they clearly weren't just overtly putting themselves out there at the conference to get harassed, but they were posting photos like from events prior to just be like, look at us, look at how great we are, being in the tech space, being women. But I think that they weaponized it. But to play off of what you just said, the third point that I absolutely wanted to talk about, and this, I'm so nervous, are just e-thot culture as a whole.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
For me, sorry, I feel like this is a mixed bag, but I'm so annoyed by some of these e-thots because they pretend to be technically knowledgeable. And it's because there's money to be made in this space. And I know you and I talk about it because we've got a decade plus of actual tech experience. And if you guys are new here, I work as a product manager. I've worked in the mobility space. I've worked on developer platforms, API, every sort of like mobile device you can imagine. And Lux here has just as much experience from the user experience and product side.
And engineering. I was an engineer
yes.
long ago.
Yeah. So we're used to working on problems in the technical space, but then there are women who dress a certain way and start to say a few buzzwords, and then all of a sudden they seem like they're credible in the space. And it really, really drives me nuts. And again, I am all for sex positivity and sex work, but it's tough when it's not that we're competing, but there are like shill girls out there who are just like messaging projects who are like, let me use my following to promote you, let me help onboard people, but they're not really onboarding anybody. And the best example I can think of this is what you experienced, Lux, at the conference in LA with the DeLorean booth babe.
Oh, in Vegas.
Vegas, sorry, I don't know why I said LA.
Because it was just as the same sort.
Yeah. And if you guys missed our recap on this DeLorean project, I'll certainly put a link below because Lux covered this extensively, but you had an experience there.
Yeah, so I've been in tech for a long time, like Queen has said. But I've been to a lot of tech conferences, and I'm used to now the booth babe scenario, which is always really disheartening and disappointing to me when I walk in and everything is really tailored towards the male gaze. And I get it, it's sales. So you want somebody good looking at your booth so people come up and talk about your products. But there's good looking girls out there with brains. And there's also good looking men out there with brains. Like why do I have a scenario where I go up to the DeLorean NFT booth at Web3 Expo and I met with a model who has 1.1 million subscribers or followers on Instagram and bikini shots everywhere. And I start asking her questions about the NFT and DeLorean minting process, and start to ask her questions about the vehicle and ask if there is a flux capacitor inside of the new car. And she tells me yes. And she has been saying yes to every single question I've asked her because she actually does not know what she is saying.
Mhm.
It's stuff like this that is just so disappointing.
Yes.
It's like we can all do better. Like women, we can do better. Men, you can do better when you're hiring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like any woman that I know would be like, for my tech startup, I'm going to hire a bunch of booth babes. That's not the female perspective, but
Yeah.
that's why I'm directly calling out men. And like,
it also reminds me of our experience that we had at Ape Fest at NFT NYC. A little less to the extreme of what you experienced with the DeLorean thing, but I just remember you and I in the non-VIP area, just like hanging out, doing our thing, stoked to be there. We hold many NFTs and we're just there to talk to people about the space and just hang out, and really cool event. And then we find out that there are paid models there, which I mean, I talked to them in the bathroom, and it's like they are paying women to be in VIP spaces, and we aren't allowed in there. But we can actually talk the talk. So it's just, I don't know. It's stuff like that.
I think I don't want to bruise your ego, but maybe nobody wants to talk to us because we're nerdy and like a solid level 6 out of 10 on the hot Richter scale. We're corn-fed Midwestern girls.
We are.
And I don't have any silicone in my body, so
it's true. Me either. So
if you're looking for a real potato to get you through the winter, call us.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to know you. This is amazing.
It is what it is. I'm used to it by now.
Okay. The last point that I wanted to just quickly go over is, and this is fairly obvious, leveraging gender in a dishonest way. So I think the most notable thing for me, aside from so many Twitter accounts that have a female image as the profile picture, and it's clear that they're not a woman, was the Fame Lady Squad project. Did you know about this? It was a year ago. So back in like August of 2021, there were a group of men pretending to be women. They kept claiming that they were the first all-female NFT project. They advertised it as the first like avatar, first female avatar project of all time. And then crypto Twitter brought the truth out on, when was it? On August 9th, it all came to light. So basically one of the founders early on was in some other Discord server and was like promoting this project. And then someone on Twitter remembered that, hey, this is a project I've seen before. I think that was a man, and pulled all of the information together and basically exposed them on crypto Twitter. And then the one founder came out and was like, oh yeah, I'm a founder behind this project, and tried to play it off. But I just feel like capitalizing on the female gender is a whole thing in its own, but it's definitely fanning the flames of toxic femininity in the space. It's making women unnecessarily compete. It's making non-experts in the space feel like they can jump in and capitalize and monetize for themselves because there are so few female in the Web3 space. It's just, I feel like it's a dumpster fire.
Absolutely. And this is actually the same exact pattern that I went through with Web2. Again, real job, especially when I was an engineer going to engineering conferences way back in the day. And people would be like, what are you here for? Marketing? I'd be like, I code. Get on my effing everybody. Like everybody there that I would meet that was female would be like a model or something hired to walk around. And I also remember a few times being like singled out and given like a women in tech badge. And I was like, do I need this? I'm just in tech. Like, I get that there's not a lot of women who have previously gone into tech. I think that's been changing over the years, but I was really early as a female in the tech space. And I've never wanted to be a woman in tech. I've just wanted to be in
just a person.
A person. I don't know why this is such a hard thing to grasp. Like I don't want any like special privilege, but at the same time, if you're going to give me more money just because I'm a woman, I'm not going to fight you on that.
That's your decision.
Oh no. I'm gonna do my conscious. It's like, where do we go from here?
I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I think we just keep talking about what's happening.
Do better.
Yeah, do better and call people out for sure.
Yeah. Ladies, also don't use your feminine wiles to seduce men into crypto scams, or
use your powers for good, not for manipulation.
Yeah, like we could talk about Ashley Decan and her NFT titty project.
Also,
which is one humorous way to use this whole culture for good, that because she's raising money for breast cancer.
Yeah.
Too good.
Also, like Laura Rod, who's building community, specifically within Bored Apes, but the Latin community. And she is loud and proud about it and is doing awesome with it. And she's not, look at me. She's like, I got something to say. Let's get together. But
yeah,
that's our hot take on toxic feminism in Web3 as we see it. Seriously, I would love to know what folks think of this, or if you have similar experiences, or if you agree or disagree. So please leave us a comment and be sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.